rough take, right? That sounds good, right? All right, we're going to try rough take. We're going to actually do this.
All right, let me...
I think we might. It looks like. We'll find out. We will find out shortly enough. All
right. Here we go.
Song goes out to all the pregnant ladies out there. Same two chords.
All right, same two chords. Same two chords.
All right. It took me a long time to come up with these words. I feel a little bit like a poet, and it took a lot out of me to write this one. So I hope you like it. Milfs and milfs and milfs and milfs, milfs and milfs, milfs and pilsners. I like beer and booties too, booties and boobies and milfs and milfs, milfs and milfs and milfs and milfs, milfs and milfs. Take a second course.
All right. Yeah, now y'all know he like the milfs. How about the grilfs?
Call them G milfs.
G milfs, I guess. There's a G milfs or grilfs.
That's Bear Grill enthusiasts.
I like grilfs. Not your mother, but your mother's mother. Your mother's mother, or your mother's mother, or your mother's mother, or your mother's mother.
Something's buzzing and I don't know.
Yeah,
why.
something's popping. Pop, pop. I don't think it's your mother's mother, your mother's mother.
Keep playing.
And, yeah, it might be clipping. I wonder if it's clipping. Nope. We might need to separate from that.
It's something from, might just do that anyways. Give me a second.
The days of wine and roses lie none of me like a child at play through the memories and through all the broken doors, a door marked nevermore. All right, so here, this is just a test trying to get everything together and really just get the personality out, get it recorded, do all that has to be done. What I need is a mic stand so that I don't have to hold the mic and I can sit at the keys. All right, so the test song for the day is Are we recording?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. It just itches. You know, you find yourself scratching your ass more with that tag. And then somehow you contract lupus.
Oh, man.
I mean, staph infection. I get those two mixed up all the time.
Staph infection or lupus. You can take your choice. Yeah.
I wish I had a pick. I just had a pick.
Just had a pig, but he lost his pig.
Damn, I got a pack of 12 and didn't pay a damn thing for it, but I already lost a pig. And it was only like 30 minutes into opening it, and I lost a pig, You heard it creaking in the bag. That's how you know it's fresh, that's how you know, that's how you know, That's how you know.
That's how you know, yeah. position. Yeah, first inversion. It's the first inversion of the first version. Root position, your position. What's your position on abortion? Is it first inversion? Is it second inversion? Or is it root? Is it root?
I'm gonna play my chords back here, cause I usually sing when I play chords.
Is it root?
But whenever I get louder and I play the quieter notes, but I want them to be more predominant because they're supposed to be lead tones, and you can't hear them.
Nope.
Because I'm micing myself.
Oh, yeah, we changed it just a little bit, but it still works because it's in the same key. And if it's in the same key, you can play it. Yeah, it's 7 chords that you can play. You can play them all anyway. Yeah. Any way you like, you can play them. It gives you a different type of. This podcast is brought to you by.
Yeah, so we're just going to start talking. You just decide to fade that in wherever you want. So I guess this is where it starts. This is a talking thing too, right?
Yes, we will talk.
All right, that sounds good.
There will be talking.
All right, that's cool. I'm going to... Not much, just slightly. Okay. All right. 'Cause I'm going to be further away most of the time anyways.
All right, so today this podcast is brought to you by Butch Howes, BJJ, and MMA. If you thought about being a fighter, okay, you dreamt about it. Maybe you were a bully. 9 times out of 10, you were bullied, right? Some kids beating you up. You feel like, oh, I don't know what to do. But I want to be a fighter. See, there you go. But you don't know where to go. You don't know, I want to be a fighter. I'm being bullied, right? These guys, they can't even fight. They're beating me up, but they really can't fight, okay? If I could fight, then I know that they couldn't fight, right? So what you need to do is you need to go to Butch Howes, BJJ/MMA. Yeah, BJJ. Yeah. Don't even worry about that. It's all about the MMA, okay? Man-on-man action. And you're ready to go.
Yeah. I didn't know if you wanted to do the ads by yourself or whatever.
Yeah. You just jump in.
I didn't
whatever.
feel like slandering it.
No. It's all right. They're good guys, and any attention is good attention.
So, are they like totally cool? Like, you know, like say I were to take lessons and be maliciously beaten up by children. They're like, I mean, they'll keep it on the DL, right?
Yeah. If you if maybe some kids are beating you up, yes. You take some lessons from them, and you will be ready to defend yourself against the kids. So that's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or MMA. You can learn it all. They're located in Charleston, West Virginia. So if you are in Charleston, I don't know why, but if you are here, come down, look us up. You will find Butch Howes, BJJ, MMA. All right. We're also brought to you by Bo Knows Music. What is Bo Knows Music? Bo Knows Music is an online website where you can go and learn music, mainly piano, because that's what I'm playing. But you can transfer any of that knowledge to your instrument. So if you play another instrument, you can learn whatever that they are teaching at Bo Knows Music and transfer it to your instrument. Guaranteed. That's my guarantee. I guarantee it. If you can't do it, you get your money back. I don't have any code words right now, but as soon as I get them, I will be sending out code words for some type of discount. I'm working on that. Y'all hold on. All right, that'll be it. now will be an intro. Who knows how that would go? Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. All right, it'll go something like that. All right, anyway.
And you'll add that in later. All right.
Let me introduce you to Bo Miles, a unique and likable guy. Everyday life, friends and family makes up the artistry.
All right, so today's guest is a good friend of mine, Garrett Smith. He might go by something else. The rockers get different names, like, you know, like Iron Arm or Rip.
Timid Traveler.
So you just go by Garrett.
I suppose.
All right. Until now.
Or actually, most people call me that guy.
All right.
Or, you know, that little dude up there. I don't know.
All right. So, I know Garrett from work. We work together. I've worked several jobs. I work all over the world doing odd jobs to find people. That is my job. It's like Quantum Leap, only I don't leap. I just go to different jobs.
So when is your Discovery Channel show coming on? Odd Jobs, I think is the name of it, right?
Yeah. That I'm pushing. I'm still pushing for it.
Aren't you like co-hosting that with Bobby McFerrin as well? It's like Bobby and Bobby Odd Jobs.
That is something to pitch. I think I need to. I think I need to push that and try to get a show about that.
I just remember like what you sent them, like just trying to pitch the show, and it was a lot of B-roll and a lot of photoshopped clips of Bobby McFerrin. You know,
me photoshopping myself in there.
There may be. Might want to get a good legal team. There may be a slight chance you might be infringing copyright, but
yeah, that definitely, especially with the singing. I think once the music comes in, then they'll jump on you real quick once they hear his voice.
Woo! Oh, that's all we can get for free. Okay.
Well, I knew that you were a musician, but a friend of mine, he was telling me about you, and he was like, "Man, I mean, he's really dedicated, and he's a serious musician." So that's the reason why I wanted to get you on the podcast. You know, I wanted to get you on the show just so the listener can get an idea into the world of a real musician. You know, like not just somebody who's big and famous and, you know, you just got millions of dollars, so you just play the same song over and over. But no, but a real musician that you're working a job and you're doing this music, and that's what the listener, I mean, that's what we do as real musicians. Yes, we do have some who are famous, and this is the only thing that they do, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But that doesn't mean that if you're not famous, you can't do music anymore. So that's the whole purpose, is like we still do music. And today we have a great musician. He's going to help us out and teach us the ways. How would you describe your style of music? What do you play?
Guitar.
All right, that's your instrument. What about your style? What style of music do you play?
It's hard to like narrow yourself down to one genre. It's just I just play whatever I write mostly. I mean, I guess it's been more folky as of late, but not traditional folk, just kind of folksy, like, you know, but yeah.
So folk. I like folk music, and a lot of musicians, the ones that like my favorite musicians around town in Charleston, are like folk singers, even if they don't describe it. I guess it could just be by your area. I'm not really sure, but why don't you give us a taste of you know, one of your tunes?
Yeah.
right, we got a taste. All right, so tell us.
It's kind of folksy. That's like it's not straight up traditional folk, but folksy is just kind of how I think. But
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, I felt like I was just outside. I just felt like a cold day, fall or wintry day, and you're just walking down the street, and it's not that much sidewalk. So you're like in the middle of the street, and you're walking. You're not hitchhiking. It's not like First Blood. Maybe it is. Maybe I see a little bit of Rambo First Blood in there. But yeah. Tell us the story. How did you even get into music, and how take us to the beginning of this musical adventure.
Oh, the beginning. Well, my sister started taking piano lessons. I can't remember the age, probably 7 or 8. But it's the thing with I guess first child. The parents are trying to push more things on her, so kind of forced her to take lessons. However, I guess it was an option, or maybe they never asked me. Anyways, I never got that that option. So, a buddy of mine that I live with, Rick Farrell, he started playing guitar around, I think it was like age 15 or something like that. Well, like initially, like I borrowed one of his guitars or something. Just it's like an old Johnson. The action was like, probably like a half inch from the fretboard. It just painful to press down, painful to keep in tune. And I try to knock it out by myself. No concept of it, just trying it by ear. But I didn't have a trained ear at the time, so this first attempt didn't really last long. And sometime later, it was, Rick had got a Squire Electric or whatever. It's a decent starting guitar or whatever, but he's starting to get into it. And I borrowed his sister's Johnson. That's what it was. It was just
his sister's Johnson.
Yeah. You can always make jokes about that. And he taught me how to read tabs, which is it's a good way to start, because it's pretty much it's easy to grasp.
Now, was y'all like forming a band, or?
No, you're just recreational use.
All right, just both. Yes, we guitar for recreation.
Recreational uses, but it's tablature. It's pretty straightforward. You got 6 lines. Each line represents a string. Just think of it. The one on the bottom would be your lowest one, so that would be the one closest to you whenever you're holding it upright, and the numbers represents the frets, and pretty straightforward. And once I got a hold of it, I noticed like I was making the correct sounds, and it just kind of took off from there. And I got an electric, got my first guitar probably within the month. And just started playing a lot like crazy. Just
what were your earlier influences? Like what type of music were you listening to?
Oh, okay. Well, I was 16 whenever I got that guitar, closer to 17. So I remember like whenever I was starting to play, I was like the one thing. I was like, I just really want to learn Santeria by Sublime.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
All right, go ahead. Play it. You
Copy
still remember that stuff? You still remember your first songs?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, let's hear it.
But it was funny because first time, like I spent a year like just learning on my own, and then I started taking lessons, and like it was kind of funny. Single notes were easier, but chords were harder. And you usually think like leads would be harder than the chords, but that song it starts out like with arpeggiation of chords, just but like normal person would hold down the chords and play each note, I would fret each individual note originally. As you can imagine, that was required a lot of moving and contortion if you're going to do it that way, especially when, I probably wasn't really big into using my pinky at the time because that's, kind of the last one you break in because, calluses.
Oh, yeah, breaking in that pinky.
Yeah. I like that. I feel kind of embarrassed. Some said, no offense to people who still listen to that. But I mean, like at the time, my style the music I listened to back then, like it differed. But I was into like a lot of System of a Down, Disturbed, much of that radio rock.
So are you just listening to that stuff and just learning it?
Yeah, lucky for me, most of it, wasn't too hard. A lot of it wasn't, but yeah, I just went my own for a year, and then I started taking lessons with Josh Cannon at Music Mania, which was in Canal City Mall. Whenever it was before it was a strip mall, like it was actually just a mall.
I remember when it was like that.
Yeah, and took lessons up until like whenever I left for college, like a year and a half later, 2 years later, and I feel like increased my ability by like 80%.
Oh, taking lessons with him?
Yeah. Seriously,
really threw you up there, huh? You was ready.
Oh yeah. I
did you join a band during the lessons with him or after or?
It was after the fact. I was just taking it to get better. I just really enjoyed playing, and I was able to play more and more difficult things. It started. He really rooted like G major in my mind, but that's because that was the first one he started off with. Yeah, learning scales and modes, which modes I'm still trying to fully grasp it to this day.
Yeah, it's a process, man. You gotta keep at it. Like you're never a master, but you are proficient. You gotta look at it like a language. Like we're not masters of English, but we're proficient. We can have a conversation. Maybe you are a master.
Master of conversation.
Master of conversation. Right? That's the real thing. Just having that conversation. So what was your first band, or how did that come about?
Well, it was I originally went to college at WU, but there was a rooming situation. I was charged for like a room there because WU, I guess the thing they had with freshmen.
Is you have to have a room?
You have to have a room unless you live within 50 miles. And I had orientation in like June, and I was living in a house. Like I was within the space, and they okayed it, and they didn't bother to contact me till like after the first full day of classes. Like, yeah, we've revoked your commuter status. We're gonna put you on bill for a room and a meal plan. And I spent most of that semester trying to get them to take it away because I never even went to said room. But yeah, after that, I ended up because I was originally in engineering, so after that, it was too much to pay for a room that I wasn't even using. So moved back home and I went to tech, and I don't think it was yet that year. It was going into the fall of that year, 2008. It was just me, my buddy Rick, our friend Sam, and Rick's younger brother Walter. Just started playing in Rick's garage.
Yo, that was the band. What was your name? What was the band name?
Oh, He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Was it that bad? Was it like Cockhold or?
Oh, the name wasn't that bad. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering the band worse than it actually was. But I mean, it was the first one. I mean,
like gerbil hair.
I mean, we've all done some things. It was fun, but I mean, we've all done some things we can't be 100% proud of. Not that it was bad, but it was a learning experience.
Yo. Man, one thing that I noticed, like the first song that you did, and just if the listeners out there, maybe they're getting into rock, I want to kind of talk about progressions. What are some of the common progressions that you might find either in folk or alternative or rock, or who knows the different classifications for all of it? But what are like some of the basic progressions that you might learn when you're in the beginning, starting off.
Well, if I'm going to start talking about progression, we're going to kind of bridge off into theory.
Well, I mean,
I do have a pretty good example. Like, there's this video on YouTube. Was it Axis of Fun? I think is who does it, but it's the 4-chord progression, or it's. I think in 4 minutes they mashed together 40 pop songs because it's all based on the same chord progression. Keep in mind, the songs may vary in tempo and key, but they, transposed it all to the same key, which I think they did it in E. But,
right.
but that progression was, I think it was 1 5 6 4 1.
1, 5.
Yeah.
You said 6.
6. And then 4, and then 1.
All right, 4. And then back to the 1. So 1, 5, 6.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah. Like they did
1.
40 songs like that. I can't remember.
Oh man, see, because this
You can think it's like just keep going,
I
just keep going. Like,
6, right?
I'm trying to remember like all of them that they did, but.
That's not 5. And that's 6. 6, 4.
Yeah, so like.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
mic's over here. Like just off of those 4 chords, I'm trying to think like.
I got. All right, keep playing. Loop it. Let me see. Because there's a song I can hear it. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be.
Words of wisdom, let it be. All right, same 4 chords. She will be loved. She will be loved. My life is brilliant. My life is pure. I saw an angel. Anywho, they mixed all those together. I can't remember like what all songs they did, but that's generally the gist of it. And they just same 4 chords, and they just went through like 40 different songs.
In the sun, let it be.
It's like I'm pretty sure that song is in C, but I mean same principle.
Yeah,
it's,
but
it's
the
the
same-
same.
but
It's
that
the
same
same progression
progression.
because within the key.
Man, there's a song. I want to say if. But I can't
There's
think.
quite
It's
a
a whole
few
bunch
of
of
them, man.
songs that.
I think it was, Axis of Fun or something. I think that's what it was.
All right.
Just 4 chord song or
so
4
we
chord
got,
pop song. I think.
so that progression we got the 1,
yeah,
5,
dominant,
and then
subdominant,
6, and then
relative
4.
minor. Oh, I did it backwards. It was dominant.
Oh,
relative
well,
minor,
here let's
subdominant.
yeah.
You got that plagal case.
So we got 1, 5,
yeah, dominant.
6, right?
Yeah,
And then 4,
subdominant.
and then we go to the 1, right? So if you don't know what we're talking about, like when we say 1, 6, 4, and all of that, definitely go to Bo Knows Music. We have a lesson where we discuss that, and it's a free lesson, so you don't have to worry about paying anything. You can also go to YouTube because they have a bunch of tutorials there. I use YouTube a lot. Like even if I'm learning a song, let's say I'm trying to learn something for a wedding, I'll listen to the song, and then after I learn it and I feel like, okay, I got it, I'll listen and check out 2 tutorials just to see what they're doing. Like I was playing, what song was it? It was something. I can't even think. I Won't Complain. So the pastor at the church, he wanted me to play that song. And so I listened to it, which it was on an organ, and it was very advanced. Like the arrangement was ultra advanced, no progression. You was not hearing no progression out of this. So I had to go to a tutorial, and the first tutorial, it started with this diminished, and then it went to this minor chord. But the second one, it started with that same diminished, but they did like they did this, which is more like a dominant chord. So, and it was just two different ways, you know. So I definitely encourage all the listeners, like, if you want to learn something, definitely check out other means, you know, like after you learn it, cross-check it, because you'd be surprised how other people play it. Some of this, I like Nirvana just coming up, like that's what I like, and what is that, grunge? Is that the style?
Yeah.
Grunge. Yeah, like that.
Them and REM, I think, pretty much pioneered that
Yeah,
genre.
like I like them, and I like Bush, and I like Deftones. Like when I was young, you know, like that's the stuff. So like when I think of rock, and you know, I'm not even sure if it's even called rock, you know, because there's so many different genres and so many classifications for all of that stuff
These days, you know.
I just
it's
call it all.
yeah,
I just call it all rock.
Everybody's trying to find their own special way to make it their own, you know, just to own it.
Did you learn any grunge through the years?
I know I learned a couple of Nirvana songs back in the day.
Oh, I
mean,
how do you separate? Go ahead.
I mean, that's 4 chords, and the verse is like.
Is it just one chord holding?
It's just 2 notes.
Oh, what key?
CF.
What key are you in?
I want to say F, but I don't think that's quite right. Hold on. Definitely not.
He said, not F. It's either going to be like E or G.
G flat, A flat.
Oh, all right. Uh-oh.
Or not A flat. G flat, D flat.
Oh, D flat. So what's the first chord?
That was an F natural.
All right, so F. That doesn't sound like, that doesn't sound happy like that. Now, how are those chords voiced? Like,
oh well, this is pretty common around, you know, most rock. I mean, it's just a power chord, which really only consists of 2 notes.
All right,
because it's just the root and then the 5th and then another octave. So it's
all right. So we got, and then what's the next one? So we got the F.
Yeah, it's the B flat, G flat, D flat. Guitar is an octave lower than it's written on sheet music. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah,
so it'll be written up here, but it's actually
it's actually where you were playing.
All right, so when you read it, you're gonna see the notes up here.
Yeah.
So do you know to take it down here?
Well, no, I'm just saying guitar is naturally that low.
Okay.
You read it from there, but I mean it's technically, you know, an octave higher. That's why whenever you do chord solos, you're supposed to play the melody an octave higher, because on any other instrument it will be an octave higher.
Oh, so like this is stuff that you already know. Like when you're going in to play it or going in to read it, you know, like, okay, I'm gonna read it on the staff, right? Or
an octave higher. That's what you would do if you were, you know, chord soloing, or if you want to play in unison with the other. I'm personally not the best at sight reading. I'm trying to get better, but
yeah. Like, I mean, hey man, it's the same. Like that's how I feel. Even with me, even though like my usually I just read the chords. So I would just read, I guess, like you would see the tabs or something if we're talking about like guitar music. Like, because I'm not really too familiar how it would look other than the tablature. But I know that you'll just see like the chord. And let's say it's a G minor, you know. So I have a couple G minor chords, so I'll play whatever one.
Well, I mean, you can go through it two ways. I mean, you have a lead sheet which will have like the melody written on the treble clef, and then you'll have the chords written above it. So or
Okay.
on tablature they can have it written out there, like you said, G minor. It'd be like from top to bottom. It'd just be 3 5 5 3 3 3 3.
Oh, all right. Yeah, and that's cool.
So,
What? Go ahead.
That.
Yeah, man, that's pretty cool. Like, and even with that, like, cause I really didn't know, cause the music sounds so full. Like, it sounds full, and me just coming from like a R&B type of gospel background, like I'm automatically gonna play a third. I'm gonna put a third in there. I might play a seventh, but it's crazy to just looking at it from your perspective. With that song, anyway, I'm quite sure.
Well,
it gets more intense.
yeah, that's just power chords. That's just like with most things, especially punk. Like punk is just driven off of fast songs, just power chords, just it's just like jamming it hard.
Oh, so all of that is power chords.
Yeah, and then you have the bar chord, which is you add in the thirds usually or the seventh.
So when did you start to hear more like the thirds? Like when was that? Like when did that really pick up in the music where you start hearing thirds and sevenths and?
Well, it just depends on the song, but I mean, like with grunge and the example I gave, it was mostly power chords. I mean,
All right, so like
they've been around.
all right, so like with grunge is going to be mainly power chords and just the different type of. You said like what 3 or 4 chords just repeating.
Well, not in every song, but I mean,
Yeah,
usually.
I mean mostly.
I mean, a lot.
Yeah,
of
because you
songs
might
are-
get like a verse, whatever. You might get a variation of chords there and get another variation of chords for your hook.
Yeah,
And then if it has a bridge, will like that music? Will it follow that like verse, hook, bridge, or like what's the structure of most your main rock songs? I mean, like I said, we all know that it's so vast that it's hard to just classify it as rock, but
it really depends on the artist or the band, really. But I mean, you think most songs would, if they have an intro, well, you got an intro, and then it'd just be like verse, chorus, maybe a bridge somewhere, or a solo, or a third part, or maybe just be straightforward.
now with your music, do you write a lot? Do you write your own music a lot, or do you just do music in your band, or how does that come about? Like, okay, what are we gonna do?
Well, my current band I just joined like a month and a half ago, not that long, so I'm more or less transitioning into the material they already have written, and I'm learning it, and I'm trying to add some parts to it. There's also another, like I'm the third guitarist, as it turns out, for the time being. So I'm trying to, like a lot of times I don't know where the other guy has leads, and I don't think a lot of things aren't very set in, so I usually end up improvising quite a bit anytime I play with him. So I know the basic structure. Like I'll know, the chord progressions in the whole song. So, I know when to jump in and out, basically, or if I have to jump out, I know where we are, or try to at least.
So do you learn like first day of practice with a new band, right? Do they just say like, all right, we're just gonna play our stuff and you just listen and jump in?
Well, they're like, we're going to teach you this song. And I mean, if I wanted to write or play something, I mean, they wouldn't, they're very encouraging. I mean, they wouldn't be like, no, that's not there,
Yeah. Yeah. See, I was in like a jazz band, and I was and like a local jazz band, and then the college jazz band. And so the college jazz band, it was very organized. You had the band director. He passed out the music. We had the lead sheets, and we went about. So that was pretty much the college band. But the local jazz band, it was like, okay, we're just gonna play. Like we're gonna play a song, and you jump in. So they might call a tune like, hey, we're gonna do Autumn Leaves. That sounds a little crackly. Right? And they would just play. I wonder. They would just play, and there was no music hand. Like they didn't pass out any music. They didn't even ask to say like, "Hey, you know this one." They just start playing, and if you knew it, you jumped in, and if you didn't,
just kind of stand there.
For next time. Like, look, you wanna learn that one. So, but in your case, in your genre, how they just teach you the stuff. Do they say like, "Hey, here's the chords," or how they do it?
Yeah, for the most part, and with this band, they have a lot of different time signatures, a bunch of different.
All right. With one of your own tunes, let's say we just formed a band, me, you, and our listeners, and we all teach us, kind of take us through a time, just kind of take us through a song. How would you, how does it go with just choose a song that you want, and you just start giving out parts or whatever, however you would do it with our listeners. Just give them a drummer, I guess, some guitar parts. It was, like you said, you're in a band now with 3 guitars. So if you want to, give out 2 other parts or whatever, just kind of walk us through that so that the listener can get an idea of like, all right, this is how a real band rehearsal goes. Of course, we won't have all those instruments, but just hand us out the parts or whatever.
Well, we're working on some newer stuff, and John Poole, he's pretty much the front man, the whole thing. Like he came out with this one song, I think it's called "The World" or whatever. But him and the bass player, there's one practice, it was just them, and they came up with some parts of this, and so they brought it to everybody. We learned it, and we started to build from that, and so everybody tries to get the general gist of it, and then they'll kind of add their own bit to it, their own flair to it with each part, because we have a trombone player as well, so he may end up playing like just the main notes of the chords until he gets the gist of it, and then he'll add his own little leads in.
So do they just play?
It's pretty much like what I would do. I just play the song until I'm familiar with it, until I've heard it enough that I can try to figure out what sounds good where.
So do they tell you the chords? Do they?
Yeah.
All right, so just pick a song. It doesn't have to be one of y'all songs that you're working on in this band, but whatever song you want to kind of give us that illusion, just so we can get an idea.
Yeah, well, last practice, I also brought up this song I wrote like 2 years ago. I've just been kind of sitting on, haven't had anything to do with it. So, I showed that to them. I mean, it's pretty much just somewhat skeletal. It's just like, it's mostly like one guitar, like one track through it. I mean, I have some parts that have harmonies, so it'll be, more full, but it's like I actually had drums written for it as well, but I couldn't remember them on the top of my head. Like I ended up sending them that later, but I myself can't play drums. I don't possess that rhythm. I can write them down, but I'd be like, hey, show me. No, I really can't.
So do you tell them like, look, it's kind of like, let's say we just had a drummer here. Would you just start playing so that he can understand? Like as soon as he hears
the
what you're playing, he knows like, okay, it's one of those type of songs.
Yeah, basically go with it. I mean, there was in one progression like that, I knew there's going to be this stop, and I told him like there's going to be this stop, like you can roll into it, but I mean like everybody's going to stop. Like it goes like on that D. Like I tell him that, and it's like basically just kind of upbeat.
Yeah.
And he just picks up on it and goes with it because he's better at it than I am.
Yeah.
So.
So like
it just starts with a general idea, and
all right, so like
they
even
take
with,
it and expand it.
Like even so with that, do you tell, like if I was the other guitarist, do you tell me like this is the chords or these are the notes, or like how do you, or you just,
well,
I know it just because I've been playing for a while, so is that how it goes? Or
well, for now, I mean, there's some parts where there's harmony, so it's like, yeah, this is, I'll be playing this. I need somebody to play this,
yeah,
behind me. But for the most part of it right now, it's just it's in its skeletal state. So it's just mostly chords,
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I mean, because like just like I've never been in like a rock band, so like I don't know how those practices goes, and this is a good look into how one might go about that. Like with the like if this was like my thing. All right.
Trying to figure out why it's. I don't think.
And it just happened. Like I'm not really sure.
Wiggle the cable, maybe.
How you think is?
That's it. That's a brand new cable. That's
all right. There we go. That's a lot better, right? So
yeah.
Let's say if I'm doing a song, I would say it just depends on who I'm dealing with. Like if you know numbers, I'll call out numbers. If you don't, then I'll just tell you the chord itself. So yeah, so it just depends on the person. But we would set up the groove. Let's say it's in G. So I would say we're gonna start on the 6. So yeah, we'll start on the 1, and then we'll go to the 6 or something, and then 2 and 5, and then we'll go back to the 1. Right? Usually with the drummers, I just like to play. I just like to play the song and just have them just catch it. Like catch it. So like even if I was I would just. Pick it up just to set up the tempo. Now if it's any type of breaks or any type of like special hits, then I let them know like you were saying with yours. But for the most part, the musicians, I guess when you're in any band, you are hoping that the musicians in the band are serious and dedicated enough to kind of know a little bit, to know the style and know what they're doing, so that you don't have to just hold hands throughout the whole practice. So
it's always a plus if they just show up for a practice.
Yes, he's here. Yeah, I can only imagine because you're gonna have some a lot of divas. Now, what's up with the live? Just how is the live scene? Like if you want to play, like you got your band, you got your band. So what's the next step? Like. Do y'all have an idea like, okay, eventually in a couple months or whatever, we're going to start playing at XYZ and then start. Do you talk about those things or what?
Well, where I've already, like I joined this band, they've already got, some gigs lined up. It's just kind of, it's already a little bit moving around. Like right now, what we're looking to do is trying to go in like the tri-state area or just try to branch out a little bit because we've been playing around town quite a bit.
Oh, already?
Yeah, well, every now and again. But you're saying, like, what is the scene? And around here, there isn't so much of a music scene. If, like, what I'm getting at is, like, when I first started out, like, playing in bands, I was, like 18, 19, right? And obviously you couldn't play any bar shows. So there's really not much for a all ages venue around here. We used to play shows at the LaBelle. You could rent out that place, I think, for like 4 hours for like $200, and then they required like $50 down payment, and they started asking for it all up front once somebody just shorted them. And then they ran into other troubles, and then so they quit doing it. And we had other places that had it, and it'd just be a couple of bad eggs kind of ruined it for everybody. I mean, just bringing whatever substances to that place, and it just ruins the fun for everybody else. Because I mean, a lot of people just want to come see people play music, and it's kind of troubling, if you're under 21, because there's not a whole lot of places you can play. Now, my buddy John, I think it was like in June, he got a Kickstarter, and he raised some money, and he has his own, like through his church, they let him use this space for like all ages events. He calls it the Cartriff, and I think right now, I mean, the way it's been, has a show like every Friday, I believe, like every Friday. He's got one. He's starting to get bands from out of state come in, play as well. So he's trying to get that moving again. Sam's, which is a bar, but I mean
I played there.
But yeah, they're trying to do all ages events, and they're trying to get. What they do is they have 2 floors, right? And they have 2 separate bars. But what they do is they close down the bar and they just have it straight upstairs. Like the kids just go straight upstairs. Nobody takes anything up there, and they're trying that out. Just trying to get more demand for all ages events. Other than that, I mean, there's like a lot of great talent, around the city. I mean, bar shows. I mean, there's plenty of those, plenty of places to play. I was just talking like all ages. There's not that much, but
there's a lot of places, but there's not a lot of places. So.
It depends. I mean, if you're aspiring, you really want to play, and it's kind of like you may be able to play this coffee shop. That's about it. Maybe
Yeah, and just play a few of those.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah. That's the thing. Just getting the music out. I guess because you're gonna sell it to maybe your friends and family first, and maybe a few strangers here and there, but really, and so that you can build that fan base, and then they can come. You bring in, hey, I'm gonna be playing at Sam's tonight. So I mean, that's a challenging aspect for all. Like even no matter what style, I think. Just that, like, even if it's R&B or hip hop or gospel or whatever, I think whatever genre, finding that place to play, and it's hard to tell if it's because of like the internet and TV and, it's like, because the further in the past you go, I think the more important live music becomes. So I'm not really sure if any of our new technology is, aiding to the fact that it's becoming harder and harder for live musicians. So who knows? All right. Well, that is it. I don't know how much time we did here. Maybe the next time I will keep a timer.
Yeah.
Yeah. This has been 3 hours. Like, who knows? Who knows how long this has been? But it's definitely been fun. I'm glad to have you on the podcast, and I would like to do this again with you later on in the future. So
hopefully we get set up a lot quicker. That was
that was a little rough, but hey, that's just learning. Like, you got to go through those type of things. I'm quite sure that next time we'll go a lot faster.
We better.
So, again, remember our sponsors. We have Butch House, BJJ, and MMA for all your jiu-jitsu needs.
That rhymes.
Yeah, I'm quite sure he thought about that. He was like, man, what can I call?
Like, why don't you just make a jingle for it?
Yeah. That's what it's missing. It needs a jingle.
BJJ for MMA. Or BJJ, sorry. I already defamed it.
Oh, no. So, yeah. He is a black belt, certified black belt under Marcelo. I want to say Garcia, but it's not Garcia. Monteiro. Brazilian black belt who studied with De La Riva himself. If you're in the jiu-jitsu, you know what that means. So remember him. Definitely check that out. And we also have Bo Knows Music. If this was interesting to you and you feel like, hey, you know, some of that stuff you were talking about musically, I wish that I knew it, head on over to Bo Knows Music and get your lessons. We got free lessons there. So, and that's it for the podcast. Thank you all, and we will catch you at a later time, Jobin.
Moved your cable there.
Where are we? Are we on out 2 chords?
What chord did you want, man?
Whatever.
I don't know that chord.
The whatever major 7th. Where you trying to play at? Where home you trying to visit?
What key?
Yeah.
What's
your favorite? You gotta have a favorite key.
I really like G and A.
All right.
Yeah.
G and
it's
A.
kind of funny. When it comes to guitar, I'd like to play in the sharp keys. When it comes to piano, I'd rather play in the flat keys.
Yeah, and I think that's usually how it goes. I think guitar is just built better for like E, A, G, and D.
I mean, the only difference is if you're counting the open notes. I mean, other than that, I mean, everything moves. Like, I was like, okay, watch, I'm gonna play you from this position a G major scale.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna play you A major. All I did was move it up 2 frets.
All right. How about
there are grids. Like if I wanted to.
Oh, like A flat.
A flat?
Yeah.
All right. You ready for this?
Yeah. Right.
It's the same.
So it's the same movement. Like your hands are moving the same way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just grids.
Yeah. Okay. So once you know the pattern, or once you know like how you move throughout the grids, you can now play in any key.
I mean, even if you don't fully know the grids, I mean, if you roughly know the chords, you can arpeggiate and kind of branch out from that. Like you said A flat. I'm not really that well versed in A flat, but I know it would be F minor, right?
Yeah.
The relative minor.
Yep.
So I could find F minor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right there you go. You can always go.
Oh.
That's always such a cop out. I feel like with most. Just look at me. I'm like,
no, man. Just go and
no,
let
no,
it
no,
out.
no.
Let them know how you feel.
Well, I just like mainstream rock is like you hear this certain scale in most songs, and that scale, ladies and gentlemen, and Bobby and Peter, the cat, is pentatonic minor. And you hear that.
Oh!
I mean, all of Freebird is nothing more than G minor pentatonic. Yeah. It's hard with this acoustic, but but I mean, it's all in that group.
All right, so
It's all in that grid.
So minor pentatonic is what? What is that? So just give me a.
It's a 5-tone.
So
Pentatone. Okay, so
give me
which minor do you want?
whatever. It doesn't matter.
I'll give you the same one I did, but an octave lower. But
so
yeah, so right here's your root, but yeah.
So is that G minor? Doing the G minor pentatonic? All right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
is that it?
Yeah.
That sounds about right. So because you said it's five notes.
Yeah.
Is it that? Or are you dropping?
There you go.
Oh, so you need that in there.
Well, I like that anyways. That's a blues tone. That's hexatonic.
Yeah. So you throwing that blues tone in there, but the basic of it, the basic 5 is.
Yeah.
All right, so
They just play it to death.
he said.
Basically.
He said basically. I mean that's.
Yeah. So we played the Haunted Barn last Saturday, and it might not have been the most well organized gig we ever played, but it was still fun. Ended up sprinkling though, so that was a little bit different.
Oh, because you said it was a barn.
Well, they call it the Haunted Barn, but it's actually like on the east side.
Oh,
On
okay.
the east
So
end
it's
of Charleston. Yeah, we were like technically playing on the street. I can't remember what street it was, but I think it was like 2 over from Washington.
Oh, was it near like the Empty Glass or something?
It's 2 streets over from Washington,
All
1
right.
street down from Thompson, I believe.
Oh, all right.
In that block.
Okay.
But yeah, it started to sprinkle. They had a little stage. They had like a little tent set on it, and the drummer got underneath that. And
Oh, so the
but
drummer was
there wasn't much room for us, so I just set my amp head up there because it's tubed. I'm like, I'm not chancing this at all. And for future reference, now I'll have a trash bag to drape over my amp. But my pedal
did it get
board,
soaked?
It just drizzled. If it would have rained any harder, we would have stopped. But I mean, it was still annoying. My pedal board got like covered a little bit, but my pedal board's like heavy duty, so
It was like a music video. I mean, y'all was out there in the drizzle.
we were the drizzle. But it's funny. Like after the first song, like I had my hoodie on. You just hear. So I'm just like trying to wind down the fretboard. I didn't turn down the volume at all, so you hear that like over distortion.
Man, he really likes that sound.
Everybody's kind of like looking around the PA, like, "Oh, what happened?" I'm like, dude, I'm not playing with this wet fretboard, man. Yeah. I need to change those strings still because I feel like they're probably half rusted. They're not, but I feel like they are. Psychosomatically, I won't be able to play them the same now, but.
Man, I should have brought my guitar. You could have kind of showed me some stuff.
I have plenty. I could show you some stuff.
Yeah, see? I'm gonna have to work with that. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I'll give you this one. Oh, sheesh. Scheisse. I can play that one because that one's got a little bit more difficult. It's got a fatter neck, and let you play this one. The action's really low on it.
Yeah, see, because I gotta learn my beat. I guess I don't know what I have to learn. I mean, I know that I gotta learn my chords, right? Because I mean, I have some type of understanding of chord sequencing, but I just need to learn them, I guess, on the guitar so that I can play songs, you know.
I'm just messing up.
What was that? What was the progression to that?
I don't know. I went between like G to D to G to C to G to some. I'm just jamming, man.
Yeah,
we're talking about.
Yes, I'm really gassy,
really audible too.
I have a mic on my anus, so when I let them out, everyone can hear.
Yeah, is that the field you're recording from?
Yeah,
that's why you got. We're talking about like different type of just different type of chord forms. Of course, you know we talked about the root fifth, and then the major, like the bar chord, which you know it's all about a lot of things. The guitar, I mean, it's all movable. Like chord form, especially, it's like when you do bar chords, it's all about shape. Like you got your root, your fifth, your octave, and then the third here, and then these are just octaves of the other ones. But this is your major chord, right? See what I'm doing there? All right, I'm gonna make this a minor, just flat the third. Okay, I'm gonna go back to major. Now I'm gonna make this a major 7, so I'm gonna flat that octave. See right there, it's all about moving the shape. Okay, we'll go back to our major. All right. I'm gonna make this dominant, so I'm gonna flat the 7th a whole step. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna make it minor again. Okay, and I'm gonna flat the 7th a whole step. There's your minor 7th. You want it diminished, you know, flat 5th. Yeah. There are other forms as well. I mean, like you can play. That's a major 7th of I think that's F major 7. There's different inversions, different forms.
So like with that first way,
like
that when
there's
you was
a
on the
major
G.
I think this is another form of G major 7th. I mean, there's just different inversions of the way you can do it, but I mean, just in form of bar chords, you know, you just shape it. That's with the E root.
Okay.
Now with A, it's a little bit different. So here is, I'm just saying A string root. We'll do it for C this time. You got your root, your 5th, your octave, and then your 3rd.
No, is that the same? It feels the same as the previous one?
It's with well, if I wanted to play C with the E root, see.
Oh.
Notice the shape is different, how I'm holding my hand.
Yeah.
But this one is like that. Okay, if I wanted to make it minor, it's the same shape as major on the above string. Now the difference is because this is a different interval than the rest of the strings. This is a 5th. From here to there. E to B is a 5th.
All right. So that first
everything
shape.
else is going in fourths.
So let's say you learned that first shape when you were doing all of that stuff. And that was the G when you did your...
Oh, this, yeah.
Yeah. So you was doing that, right? So if you take that same shape and move it, like, can you hold that same shape?
Oh, yeah. So it's like, okay, this is G major. I want to play I want to play C major. I want to play A major. I want to play E major. I want to play
All right. So
F sharp major. It's just you just move it. That's all it is. C, E, D, F, F sharp, A, B. It just move the shape.
all right.
You do it for minor. You got B minor, D minor, G minor.
So do you have to learn all the shapes?
Minor seventh, minor seventh, minor seventh, minor seventh, D minor seventh, C minor seventh, A minor seventh. That's all it is. It's just shapes, and you just move it. All you really need to know is the notes for these two strings for the most part, because these are the roots.
All right.
If you know that, then you just know where to move the shape to.
Okay.
So you got your major, your minor seventh, your major seventh, and your dominant seventh. That's just the more basic ones, diminished. Just if you know.
So how many shapes are there? Do you know?
Well, you can go even more expansive than that. Probably, further than I know. You could be like, add 9s, add 13s, But I mean, they're all based on shapes, and you could just move them.
Yeah.
Easily,
So do they? Is that the way that they teach? Like when you're learning the guitar, do they teach you shapes? Like, look.
Yeah. Like, have you ever seen like chord diagrams?
No, I never really did any type of.
I got all. I collaged. Well, I got all of it together, put together. Like, break open that book, man. Like, and you'll find chord diagrams in there. You should. If not, in that one, definitely in the Hal Leonard one. It should be opposite there. Like, let me see if I can. I'll show you what they look like. The Hal Leonard one definitely has some. This one's a little bit different. I'm trying to get back into sight reading. No, Hal Leonard is so fucking heavy on chords, man. Like sight reading chords. This one has like there's a couple different ones. This isn't like the one I was thinking of because this has got like more of a fretboard. Mm-hmm. But that's the same general concept of it. That one's showing notes though. But
yeah.
I mean, like.
Yeah, that like so here.
E flat major, was that as far as I made it last time I went through there? I don't know, it's been back. Let me see. I've made it through the first book like 3 times, but I always get stopped like halfway through the second one. I have all 3, and then like enough time passes that I have to start over again. Where the hell are you? As I know there are. Okay, well yeah, they're on the top there.
All right.
Like see, chord forms.
Yeah. So that's telling you the shape.
See, like right here we got dominant ninth. Yeah, I guess. Do we have? They didn't have like a fret root. Usually they have that. Okay, this is what I was talking about exactly, because it's got your major, your minor, your dominant seventh, your minor seventh. Yeah, this is exactly what I just showed you right here. If you look at it, you just see what I was talking about.
All right, so we got major, minor, dominant, minor seventh, minor, root 5, minor 7.
Then you could just see the 6 lines, the strings, and then you piece it together.
So how do you? So this is like
all across 3 frets for the most part, sometimes 4, but yeah.
So is this like all right? If I'm holding it this way,
which one is
like
okay, the top left one that says major, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would be this right here.
Okay.
See how I have it? The one by itself should be the root, and then see it goes.
All right.
It skips a fret, and then you see two dotted up. See 1 skip fret dot, and then down a fret this guy, and then
and then 2 more.
See how it is? Like, can you piece it together? It looks like
all right, so I see that.
I'm trying to think how. Yeah, like hold it. And is it lined up with my hand? Just line it up with my hand.
Okay, so I see that. I see these 2.
Yeah, it's just
I see that. Now the 2 under the root. Are you hitting?
I'm just barring them.
See
this finger? It's pushing down on all of them. That's what they call them.
Oh,
chords.
So you're pushing on all of those strings.
Yeah.
Okay.
These two aren't necessary. They're just octaves. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, this would be the same. This is just more full sound.
Yeah. All right. So this dominant. There's a dominant right there. Is that
Dominant 7th.
yeah. So this dominant 7.
So they want that.
So is this still a barred? You still
Yeah.
have this a bar?
Yeah,
bar
it's still
chord.
barred.
All right. And then you have these other 3.
Yeah, and see the one right beside it to the right. That's a minor 7th.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, see, that's just this and just 2 fingers.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just shapes, man. I mean, if you know your shapes and you know where the notes are, I mean,
He said, "You know your shapes, you know where the notes are." Yeah. That's it's like it's easy and hard. You know, like I can definitely.
you get those calluses. I think that's the hardest part. Once you get those guys broken in, then it gets a little bit easier.
Oh, all right. Once your hands,
Quite a bit easier, I think.
once you're ready for war.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how they sell it.
All right. Well,
Where are we gonna jam?
I know we were
And then I broke off into
to teaching.
teaching.
All right. I guess we're in G.
What progression you want though?
I don't know. Give me something. Give me something. Maroon 5-ish.
No.
Yeah, see, I like that.
Let's try. So like G, A minor, C, D.
Said I woke up Sunday morning and I had eggs for breakfast. And I ate them. A couple of minutes later, I had a stomach ache. And I looked in the mirror. It was a little sweaty. Said my stomach hurting, so I laid down. Lay down on that couch. Tried to sleep it off.
Sleep it off.
Sleep it off.
Sleep it off. Sleep it off. Sleep it off.
Sleep it off.
Sleep it off. Sleep it off. Sleep it off. Sleep it. Sleep it. Sleep it. Sleep it.
Sleep it off. so severe, so severe, so severe. Said my daughter called my girlfriend. Yeah.
What did she call her?
She didn't call her mommy.
She called her Paul. Where did she get them from? I don't even know a Paul.
I know a Paul. He's a good guy. Yeah.
Based on what merit do you declare that Paul is a good guy when he's never there? I ain't never seen him before. How can you say that if I don't even know he really exists? Well, does he really exist? Yeah, yeah. How can he be if he's not me?
Does he really exist?
Exercised his muscles and his core and his lats and his glutes like a brute. Oh, Paul.
Oh, Paul.
Oh, Peter, Mark, John, or Luke.
What about John? Couple Johns. Maybe she know a couple of Johns too.
I know she knows one that works in the services of dropping off and collecting at a later date. The portable restroom, his name, I'll admit, is a bit of an ironic state, because his name is John and he collects Porta Johns.
It is John.
I can't make that shit
John. It is John. It is John.
What? Little John.
Little John.
Little John.
Little John.
Little John. Okay.
In the shower, got her rubbers together,
shimmy hands,
'cause John was on his way. He'd had a long night, he was ready to play,
but he didn't have enough time to get his own shimmy hats from his house or stop by the convenience store. You know they got a lot in there.
Yes, they do. Married with 5 kids. He ain't wanna get caught buying condoms, no, or Jimmy hats, or rain jackets, no.
And everybody knows that his first vasectomy didn't take, and neither did his second or his third. Sorry, John's kids, at least any that were born after the first 2.
Had super sperm.
You were accidents. Saw you found out this way.
Super sperm.
That's that superhero you never wanted. At least you didn't know that you wanted it. But you gonna get it, girl. Yeah, you gonna get it, girl. Yeah, you gonna get it, girl. Yeah, you gonna get it, yeah.
Gonna get that super sperm.
Drinking from a Dixie cup, we're gonna fill you up, yeah.
Super sperm.
That was fun.
fill 'em up, fill 'em up.
There it is. You just need to hit the octave up button on there.
Oh, all right. I was like, oh, where is it? All right, that is it. We will catch you at a later time.
Seriously, that's where we end.
That's it. I'm out. Big farts.
Pig farts?
Yeah. Cops gotta let it out, man.
I do find it ironic that John works in dropping off and collecting porta-john.
Yeah. That,
Is he the John that people always write to?
Yeah. He's that John. He's the.
So he's the one with the newspaper articles, the self-help things.
Yeah.
Dear John.
Yeah, it's him, and then there's what? Oh yeah, then
he got sued by Abby, I think.
Even John Doe.
Oh.
So yeah, John is definitely popular. See,
That's a no-no, cat.
The cat is not playing.
No, he knows better. I tell him not to do it, and he still does it. Oh man.